Hello, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name's Emma. I'm an illustrator based in Sheffield and these are my daily-ish vlogs. It is a lovely sunny day here in Sheffield. I might go and do the garden later, but first what I want to do in this lovely kind of chilled out vibe of a day is not sit at my computer all day because that would be awful. I'm sitting down in my living room and I've got a bunch of children's books. If you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I am a little bit addicted to buying amazing children's books in charity shops. You can pick them up for a song. My local charity shop does them for about 99p, but I get them for inspiration, not to copy, but it's important to see what's out in the world. You can't create things that are amazing that other people are going to enjoy if you don't know what else they enjoy. Of course, you can create things that you like, but if you're wanting to reach other people, like I am, I'm wanting to pursue traditional children's publishing after self-publishing my first book. So I kind of want to know what is out there, and it's fun, actually. It's fun reading a book like this, because it takes, what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to read a book like this. And it's good to evaluate what you like in the book as well. And like I said, it's not to copy, but if you don't know what you like, it's hard to pinpoint it when you're trying to do a project. And I was talking to my mum about this. I was telling her what I was going to do. She's like, what are you going to do today? I was like, oh, I'm going to go and get a bunch of my children's books and just sit and read them and like find out how other people write a story. And she's like, you know how to write stories? I'm like, yeah, I do know how to write stories, but I am notoriously a waffler. And a children's book, you can't waffle in a children's book. You've got 32 pages. I mean, it looks really simple. You've got pictures and a couple of words, oh, super simple. But you try telling a story in 32 pages that's probably the most words you'll see on most children's books. How many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. 44 words on a page. I think it's just good to see how other people do it. And lately I've been getting in my head a little bit about my story ideas. I've got a bunch of story ideas. I know kind of how I want to illustrate them, but things like this evolve as you do them. But it's more, how do I start the story? Because I think I've got to have about 40 minutes of waffling before I actually get to the key. And I know a lot of that is the editing process, and I've got a big history of that. I mean, I've got 2 literature degrees. I can edit stuff. It's more, I'm in my own head. I've focused so much on my illustration style and my illustrations that I've kind of not forgotten how to write a story, but my confidence is in the illustrations, and I'd like to try and work on my storytelling for kids more again, because recently I've been reading a bunch more like grown-up adult books, novels, stories, memoirs, whatever, and they're different. They're different. Apologies, by the way, if you can hear a noise. I've got my windows open and my neighbour is like, I don't know, welding, so I don't know, they're doing something. It's going on for ages, so I can't wait until it's over. So yeah, lately I've been getting back into, I had a big old time where I wasn't reading anything at all. As soon as I started reading one page, it would literally start to send me to sleep. So I didn't get through many books. But lately I've got my reading mojo back. So I've started to read more grown-up things with lots of words, stories, big stories, novels, I suppose you'd call them. And reading again is what's got me thinking I should probably go and read these. Because to be honest, when I got these from the charity shop, I got them because of the pictures. And like I say, I've been working really hard on my illustration style at the moment. So I was getting a lot of really interesting looking books. I did read them, but I wasn't really focusing on the words. So that's kind of what I want to do. Like I say, I've been reading a lot more novels. And in a novel, you've got the space to be able to waffle and kind of lead into a story. Look how many pages are in that. There's no restriction really to a novel in terms of pages and words, but in a children's book there is. So I think before I get into that self-doubt spiral and start talking myself out of being able to do something. I'm going to rein it in. I'm going to just take a nice, lazy, enjoyable day while my brain's still able to accept things and I'm not in a bad mood because I can't do something. You know, while it's not imperative, I'm going to take a bit of time and read some of these books, and not in a formal way, but I'm just going to think about what I like about them, what I think works, see how they've started their story, see how much information is in it. Because remember, with a picture book, a lot of the story is told by the pictures. And hopefully by the end of today, I will feel a bit more confident that the stories that I've got ideas for, which I was putting on hold because I was trying to work up my illustrations and build up my portfolio, and, you know, just basically try and level up my illustrations, which I feel like I am now. I feel like I'm getting there. But hopefully by the end of the day, I'll realise that my stories will be able to fit into such a restricted format like this. And maybe give me some ideas about how to do it as well. What a lovely way to spend a little bit of time. It's actually really clarified things for me, seeing how people put, you know, quite big concepts in a story, like looking for a home, finding friends, you know, journeys into adulthood, dealing with loss, like quite big stories, quite big concepts, and seeing how these authors and illustrators have condensed that into 32 pages and not many words at all. It's really clarified things for my own stories, and I think by taking my foot off the gas, by not sitting down and thinking, right, this is a big project, I must now work out how to do this, I think it's unlocked something in my brain, taking my foot off the gas. I think sometimes if you sit down with the pressure of having to do something, you run the risk of sucking the life out of it. And it makes me think, like, days like this, doing things like this, when you're in that kind of fight or flight mode where you're starting to panic about a project or something, you sit and think like, oh, well, what good is reading a few books going to do, really? I really actually just need to sit down and get this done. But really, it's the small little tasks like this that make the bigger journey so much easier to do, to take. So I've got lots of ideas of how to start my stories now without having pages and pages of waffle to edit through. Something a bit more condensed. Like, I've got ideas about how to kind of jump straight into the story and it not feel like you're jumping into the middle of a story, like you don't need lots of backstory to kind of get the content. I don't know if you know what I mean, but like to get the context of your story, my brain's starting to work once again on how you put that into a children's book format. And it makes me think of a quote once again by Katie Chappell. Katie Chappell, honestly, she's one of the Good Ship Illustration illustrators, and I'm always mentioning things that she said. I didn't realise it, but I think her stories have had such a big impact on me. But it's something that Katie said in one of her videos or one of the courses, I can't remember. And it's from her childhood. And her mum used to say, "Katie, how do you eat an elephant?" And the answer is one spoonful at a time. And little tasks like this, like just reading kids' books, getting inspired, finding out what kids are reading, what the words they're actually reading, how they're actually reading it. This is one of those small spoonfuls in eating the elephant of writing your own children's book. It's so important to take your foot off the accelerator, to take the pressure off, and actually think about how you can break down a big task into smaller, more manageable chunks. And for me, the first step in getting my big concept story ideas down into a more manageable, childlike form is taking a step back and seeing how others do it. Giving myself options as well. I think what something like this does is gives you options. It makes you realise there are more ways than just one of doing something. So it's been a good and productive day. Before I go, I'm going to mention that I have got these original pieces of art for sale on my small business website. They're done in stick and ink and sometimes a bit of watercolour and gouache. These are available for sale until the end of June. I'm doing a little bit of a flash sale. One of them's already gone. Is it this one? This one I think is already... I can't remember which one's already gone. I'm going to post that tomorrow. But you've got until the end of June if you want one of these. No obligation, obviously. But I did these after my magpie rescue experience. So if you didn't see that video, I'll link it in the video description. Basically, I was due to go away this time last week, I think, away for the weekend. And as I was packing, we heard a bird in the chimney and it needed rescuing. It really, it came at just the right time actually, because another day and we would have been away. So we delayed our plans, smashed a hole in our wall and rescued a magpie. It took all day because you needed to, the recommended thing to do was to leave it for a couple of hours for it to gather itself, I suppose. Leave a window open and it'll go out itself. And it did eventually. We set a phone up and an iPad up and we watched, because we linked it to our telly downstairs, and we watched for a few hours while this lovely little magpie escaped the hole that we smashed in our wall. But as inspiring as that was, and as much as I'm loving the art that I've got here, we realise we have a chimney that needs capping, so no more birds get stuck down there, and we've got a hole that needs plastering. So I thought I'd sell some of my magpie-inspired sketches to see if anyone wants them and to help towards the cost of getting my chimney capped. Like I say, no obligation, but it's like a quick pop-up sale. They're not going to be there forever. They're going to be up on my website, which is embersandink.co.uk. That's my small business website. And it's going to be a little pop-up shop for this collection until the end of June. So if you want one of those, head along and grab one while you can. Like I say, one's already gone. I put them yesterday, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's quite good progress so far. So that's a little bit of money in the chimney capping kitty. Let me show you the hole in the wall. So here is the hole. I've covered it up with cardboard for the moment, but you're going to see how that's going to need to be plastered. We haven't done anything solid with it yet. I was going to get some mortar and put the bricks back that I loosened behind there, but we figured until the chimney gets capped, there's no point in doing that because we might need to get another bird out. You can see that I've put a picture there. It's one of James Green's originals. If you've never seen James Green, go and check James Green out. And this is my new picture from Charlotte Durance. So those are lovely, but the wall will need sorting out at some point. No rush, but at some point. I would have smashed a hole in my wall anyway to rescue the bird, but it's kind of lucky that that bedroom isn't in the best state anyway. It's basically the last room in the house that we've basically not done anything to it since we moved in, apart from smashing a hole in the wall. So yeah, they're available until the end of June, depending when you're watching this, they'll still be live. End of June 2024, they'll be up until, and then they won't be available on my shop, or at least that price again. So yeah, if you want one, better go and get one. So this is where I'm going to leave the video today. Thanks very much for joining me, and hopefully I'm going to catch you in the next one. So until then, bye.